Morning Show.
Frisco, Frisco, man. Frisco, follow the snowman. Frisco, Frisco, man. Frisco, follow the snowman.
Frisco Ice Cream, the local leader in quality frozen snacks and a variety of local fruit flavor. Winner of the Best of SVG's People's Choice Awards for the best ice cream. Over 25 years of experience and keeping you satisfied. Not only in ice cream, but chalk ice, popsicle, ice cream cakes, servers, and much more. And remember,
Follow the snowman.
All right.
Every once in a while, a small team comes along and just surprises
And
you.
actually, you let us in.
Every once in a while, they go
All right, so
with
with the compliments of Frisco Ice Cream, well, we know what ain't making any sense. We're hearing this story in Beckway about this land. We saw the government write to the legal representative of the owner of the land.
former owner.
Huh?
Former owner. Isn't it? Former owner.
To the former owner of the land, yeah, indicating that the government essentially will be taking the land and they just need to come to a reasonable price. Fair market price, I think was the expression.
Yeah.
And next thing we know is that the Prime Minister's son owns the land, not the government.
You know why it's making sense to me? I was watching the comment section a while ago, and I'm seeing a person who I would say supposed to be sensible and have sense, and they're asking, what is illegal about that? So please, what is illegal about that?
Well, because you've, unlike if Storm had just gone to the owner and said, I would like to purchase the land, and the owner says, well, look, I have another offer. Somebody's offered me X. Obviously we're trying to get as much money as possible for the land. Right? So you compete in the normal way that business people would compete for an asset. But when the government steps in and says that they have an interest in it and to kindly inform any other prospective buyers of our interest.
That's a different knock on the door.
That is a block.
Yeah, that's basically blocking everybody
That's
else
a
out.
different block by your door.
Right? So you cannot use the power of the state for personal benefit. That's essentially misuse of office, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying one thing. I'm using the full power of the state. It's like using the police to do your bidding, or using the tax authorities to do your bidding.
You
You do that as well?
Hey.
So it's highly inappropriate. But somebody made a really interesting comment. They say that if anybody's to go to prison, it's more likely to be public servants. More likely to be public servants than the actual beneficiaries.
And it's a public servant.
As in those who processed it.
I did.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So okay. All right. Okay. I didn't want to call any names, but okay. All right. Cool.
Because they are also part of the fraud, right?
Part of the cabal.
If they are being used, and listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they were just doing as they were told. That's not going to stand up.
All
in
right. So the
court.
big person, I think we were talking about this the other day. The big person calls me and says, Chris,
that doesn't stand up.
How about you sign off on
If
that?
it's unlawful, it doesn't stand up in court. You knew what you were doing was wrong.
So me alone now take the brunt of that. Meanwhile, the big person, you call me now, you home free.
If say somebody above a police commissioner instructed a police commissioner to act in a certain way, bring a prosecution where there's no prosecution to bring, or the evidence is
Like a
flimsy,
suggestion.
right? If that ever went to court, it would be the police commissioner who actually gave the instruction would be the one that would have to take the rap. It wouldn't be whoever instructed them.
Yeah, should have cheated on that.
Because they're gonna say, look, you know what I mean, you shouldn't be following unlawful orders.
I was saying that the other day, they shoot me down.
Right?
So in a case like this, so the big ups call Chris, say, Chris, I want you to put your John Hancock on that. I put my Hancock on it, blah, 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 blah. Big cabal boss out now. They come and scrape up people. The first man getting scrape up is me.
Possibly.
Quite possibly.
Could this be the reason why I never see ministers going to jail?
I think
The only difference with this one, I would say,
there might be insider trading.
yeah, the only difference I would say with this one is that you actually have a letter signed by the PM. That
So he might be even for questioning.
that might make it slightly different.
I mean,
That might make it slightly.
take a call here and see.
Yeah, there's a paper trail there.
Morning, yeah, buddy. Okay, all right, good. I wonder.
But and listen, right? The only way we know about this is because
he
Storm
wouldn't keep
couldn't-
the trap
couldn't
shut.
help but telling us.
Romel is making a good point on the Facebook Live.
Mhm.
So read the first part of what he's saying.
Nepotism,
Let me see what
corruption.
he's saying. Let me see what he's saying.
Basically, the gist isn't this why the FIU is there to investigate these type of things?
Of course,
And catch these type of things?
of
So
course.
if they didn't investigate it, maybe they themselves need to be looking into as well.
Well, also, right? The tax authorities should be looking at it because they should be saying, "But hang on, how could this land only be worth this?"
Because I can tell you, if you and I
Yeah,
went
If
to
we-
buy
if
a
we-
piece of land,
if we go and buy a piece-
they don't charge you your tax on what you paid for it. They charge us according
what,
to
and
their
what,
value.
and what the value is.
Value, yeah.
Right.
I do.
So the tax authorities themselves should be looking at this and saying, "But
But
95 acres."
But doesn't this speak to a bigger problem?
Of course, it
Because if it goes undetected by tax, you was the other one you called a while ago. Just now you called one before.
FIU?
Tax. If it goes undetected by the FIU, doesn't this speak to a bigger problem? FIU ain't touch it. Tax ain't pick it up. What
Listen,
you own it?
listen,
What you sign?
You as a private citizen, you get two 1,000 EC dollar payments in from somebody in the States from
Well,
through
you have
Western-
problem source
through
of
Western
funds.
Union in the same week.
Source of funds.
You go and collect that money and
Listen.
see what happens to you.
I went to send some money for Lisa not too long ago, right? When you got into the Western Union line, they're saying to you cannot collect over a certain amount and you cannot send over a certain amount, otherwise they're going to question you. They come in the line and tell you so. So imagine this
Yeah.
going down.
So you've got all these facets of government that seemingly have all stayed silent.
Right.
FIU pass it straight.
So you can imagine, right, that there's a whole racket being run through government, right, that hasn't been exposed. Because, as I say, the only way we know about this one is that a man who was in his 20s at the time was bragging that he was going to build a $300, $400 room resort in Beckway.
And nobody
And was talking about Bitcoin. And the other thing I said at the time is I don't understand how the Prime Minister's son is advocating for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, by and large, is used to bypass government.
See why I use a giraffe. Can't hush your mouth. I know. See why I use a giraffe. Can't hush. Morning.
Well,
Hey, morning.
how long has you been alive? I was well.
Oh, you like maybe.
Right. So what you think was a landman show when he was in government? You think Ralph wouldn't back his eyes and cross his T's to ensure that nothing get leaked?
Yeah, right, maybe so. And nobody's not disputing that. But the fact remains, like, hold on, morning. The fact remains that once that pass FIU, you know something wrong. It's not detected by income tax. You know, it doesn't matter how good you cross your I and dot your T. It doesn't matter. It's smelling stink. Who? How? Morning.
Look, you miss out a critical part there. No. It's not a man, no. A young man. No. Remember, he's a real estate mogul. So what other deeds like this one that he has done, that people outside of him to see in his portfolio classified here as a real estate mogul. And the people then who sign them deal, who's public servants, NDP, these are the people that the country vote for to see how you hold them accountable. So if all you know this and don't do nothing,
Can I go fall in line?
Listen.
They go fall
Listen.
in line. Hold on. Yeah, next up, morning.
Morning, guys.
Hey,
morning.
morning.
Interesting story. But who was the Minister for Land and Development at that time?
Another interesting
Nobody
question.
knows?
Another interesting question.
Okay. All right. They're ready. Another one again. Let me take one more. We're gonna
It's
roll.
like across the board, it looks shady.
But they were telling you. Morning.
I am confused. They were confused because if the government blocked people from buying that land, how come Andrew John made a statement in Parliament that if the government can't buy it, how could somebody else buy it?
Right.
So something isn't right somewhere. Something is not adding up.
My brother.
Clearly.
Morning.
That's an understatement.
But, look at the institutions that it run past. But we are more.
So are we to believe that all of these institutions of government were manipulated for the benefit of certain people? And is this why we're so poor?
And again,
is this why our schools can't get fixed, our roads can't get fixed, and our hospital is a mess? Our police are living under woodlice.
Morning.
No, conflict of interest is what you're supposed to say. Conflict of interest.
Listen, man. Oh, morning. No. You have to ask. Listen. We can sit down here and again go around. Again, look at the signatures. Look at the office that block it. Look at the person that do the purchasing.
Look at the checks and balances that were meant to
exactly
review these things.
What's the institutions that run past it? Is there any other way to look at it? Morning.
Who was the head of the FIU?
Another interesting question.
You see, is there any other way to look at it? The normal
Listen. I'll give you an example, right? If I get a check from, give me 3 of the biggest companies in St. Vincent.
Careers.
Ocado or Careers. Graves, right? So let's say I get 3 checks from them. They amount to over $10,000, right? I have to declare source of funds.
Must.
Even though they're checks from the most recognized companies in St. Vincent. How are these things possible?
How? Morning.
Good morning, fellas. Good morning.
Morning.
I know growing up with old people always say, take time, find one, and belly.
Take time, my chance to go find the belly.
All right. So the new government in power now, it ain't about just jumping in here and this and, come and say this is that is the case. They have to do the investigation.
Yeah, but brother, yeah, it's true, but these things are too evident.
Yeah,
you see something like this? Tell me what investigation this needs.
Well, it needs, you need to make sure you have all your
ducks in a row.
Yeah.
Well, but if you're gonna bring a case, you're
going right. Yeah. But this is too evident.
No, well, you see, you never know when you're big enough where you could find. So you have to take time and
but you have a letter stating government are interested in lands, and then they end up in somebody else's the
hands of
the son of the same person who wrote the letter saying the government wanted to acquire it.
I think this is what a lot of people are complaining about with moving certain pieces of government when you get in, because if I could potentially get in trouble, I'm not gonna help you find that trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are those people still there?
Why? Yeah, we called a name a while ago. I asked last week, why is that Umbre still there?
Yes.
Morning.
My question is, I heard you mention something about MoneyGram and Western Union. They got black you for go to $500 or $600. Where this young man get all the money to purchase that land?
Good question,
brother.
Good question.
No, but yet still, how are we making a problem? Oh, how much money Friday son making?
Listen, man. Listen. Right?
And Nicholas is employed by the government.
Yeah. How much money Friday? How much money Friday son making?
More or less when we come back.
Oh,
what's not making